Good evening, YouTube. It's the Venom Monkey here, coming at you guys with a small discussion video. The point of this is essentially for me to try to be devil's advocate. Earlier this week, we saw that, or was it last weekend? Either way, we saw that Jeff Jones topped ARG Detroit. He actually won the thing with Fire Fists, and as it turns out, according to the ARG site, he was playing 3 copies of Upstart Goblin in a 41 card deck. He came under a shit ton of flack for this immediately. He corrected ARG actually. Apparently, according to himself, he was only running 40 cards with 2 copies of Upstart Goblin as opposed to 3. But that ended up leading me to think, why wouldn't he play 3 Upstart Goblin? Is there any reason? This is essentially one of the big things in Yu-Gi-Oh! People assume that, well, it's essentially a given. You're supposed to play 40 cards for the sake of consistency, and there's no point in playing more than 40 cards if, well, one of the cards is Upstart Goblin. There's no point in adding extra cards that are essentially going to just give your opponent, free life points in exchange for literally nothing. So I thought about it for a while. I thought about the deck he was playing, and in Fire Fists, I feel like there's a small argument to be made. It's not the all-powering, all-conquering argument. However, Fire Fists search a lot. They spam from the deck, they special summon, they set from the deck directly. So what if you, as opposed to activating the card immediately when you draw it, because most people, let's face it, see it as a quick play. As soon as they draw it, they activate it. Just immediately, straight away. They don't see it as a potential combo piece or as a closing card. None of these. It's just something that you have to do immediately when you have it. Draw a card, give your opponent 1,000 life points. But what if after he's done spamming the field, after he's set all his tankies and fuck what, he activates it after? What if that following draw gets him a Fiendish Chain or something else, something that he couldn't have searched? So essentially, the only argument there is to be made in favor of this. What if you're playing a deck that searches a lot, or sends a lot from the deck to the graveyard, and you activate Upstart Goblin towards the closing stages of your turn, so main phase 2, and you draw something that you couldn't have searched for? And there's a couple decks where this kind of becomes relevant. The obvious one, I guess, I mean, it kind of warrants a mention. Sylvan's, the fact that you can stack your deck. This is a shit example. You can stack your deck with Mount Sylvania, then draw the card you just stacked. But I mean, what the hell? Then the other one I can think of, just for the simple reason I play it, is Shaddolls. With Shaddol Fusion, you can ascend 2 Shaddolls from your deck to your graveyard, in the ideal case. Let's say one of those 2 Shaddolls is, sheesh, I don't know, Shaddol Hedgehog. And Hedgehog gets you an extra card, and then the other one's Squamata, and then with Squamata you send something else, and you keep doing shit like that. So if you do end up sending a random Shaddol plus Squamata, that's 3 cards taken out of your deck that you're not gonna draw. And you'd rather those cards be in the deck, because obviously you're using them for Shaddol Fusion to get their effects off, right? So if you first activate Shaddol Fusion, and then activate Upstart Goblin, you're gonna see a card that you would not have seen. And then the other case in which I find this is relevant is when you have Mathematician and you send Felis from the deck to the grave. Drawing this card is shit. You can't even set it. You can't do anything if this thing's in your hand. It can only be special summoned with its own effect. However, what happens if first you do Mathematician, send Felis, make Black Rose, whatever the fuck, pop something with its effect, and then you activate Upstart Goblin? Then you're essentially guaranteed you're not going to draw this card because the fucker's already gone, right? I feel like there's a decent point to be made in this case, a relatively strong argument, because, I mean, especially in Shaddolls, considering everything that you can search, like if you play your deck by prioritizing sending Hedgehog from deck to grave, you can search quite a lot. Shaddol Fusion sends shit from the deck to the grave. I feel like it still makes sense. Once you're done your plays, once you're done searching and everything, you activate Upstart Goblin and shit, maybe you'll draw a Crush card, Vanity's Emptiness, Ring of Destruction, whatever the fuck. Something to protect you for next turn. Something slightly different. And the final card interaction that I feel a lot of people forget about is Lavalval Chain. Any deck that has access to Lavalval Chain should, I believe, play Upstart Goblin, even if that means going to 41 cards. The 3 Upstarts, this is one of the situations in which Upstart Goblin can actually be a combo card. You use Lavalval Chain's effect, the second one. You choose a monster from your deck and place it on top of the deck, right? The deck is shuffled underneath, who gives a shit? But then if you have Upstart, you draw the monster you just stacked. So you can literally search any monster of any level in your deck, just off that 1-2 card investment. I still feel like that's pretty strong. Most of the decks that I play end up having access to Lavalval Chain. I'm not sure about playing in Shaddolls, for example, but what the hell. In Negros, for example, very simply, you can stack a Valkyrus, whatever, in the mirror match, and then just draw that fucking Valkyrus. Like, it's right there. I feel like that interaction is somewhat relevant, and people just kind of overlook it. I just feel like it's something to think about. Despite the fact that it seems illogical to play just more shit that's going to give your opponent free life, If you look at it from the point of view that you're only playing a 37 card deck, and that just increases consistency. If you're playing the 3 upstarts, then obviously it doesn't make sense. However, if you think of Upstart Goblin as something to close your plays, something to maybe draw some back row protection, or I don't know, shit, the MST you need to out the Vanity's Emptiness, whatever the fuck, or even a combo piece with all chain, I feel like all of a sudden it's more relevant. There's actually more to it than just a free card and giving your opponent free life points. Either way, so that's my reasoning behind it. I still feel like I would play Upstart Goblin at 3 in a 41 card deck. Probably not a 42 or 43 card deck. I mean, that it just kind of gets absurd. I mean, I still feel like Upstart is a 3 of or a 0 of. It's not really a tech card. Either way. So that's it. I don't know. I'm not 100% sold on either side of the argument. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you can think of any other interactions. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for this. I don't really care. This is just an opinion. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I wouldn't swear by this, obviously. So there you go. Don't forget to like, comment, please comment. I'm interested in knowing your opinion about this. And subscribe. The Bandit Monkey out.